I have to tell you, it's a little bit of fun when you have a movie that is taking you down in one direction, and then in the final reels, you realize that road was false, and the producers were just messing with your mind. Not a bad way to start off the brand new year of 2021. As cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is it. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. The holidays are fast behind us now. We're ready to start a new year. Hopefully, a new year in which we'll be able to return to the theater and see some movies. Regardless, I will have reviews for all the hottest films for you right here. Just stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Susie Maloney has written a fairly decent thriller that is worth a look, as tonight's lesson plan is a film called Bright Hill Road. Now, as I said in the teaser, I have to admit that, wow, I thought this movie was going in one direction, and it turns out to be totally. Let me explain to you what's going on here. We're brought into the life of Marcy, and Marcy is an alcoholic. She's got a bad problem, okay? But she also works in HR. And isn't that telling? Because it seems most people who work in HR have some kind of a substance abuse problem, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, Marcy fires people, and I guess it gets to her, plus the mess up in her own personal life. So she is quite in shock one day when she has fired an employee on a Friday, and Monday he comes into the office and shoots the place up. Now she survives, but it's at this point that people start saying, Mars, babe, you got to do something about that problem. And they start putting her into a rehab house. And that's where all her major complications really begin. It's not a bad little thriller the way it was put together. Let me tell you some of the other people that star in this. Simon Williams plays Marcy. She does a fine job. Agam Darish plays Mrs. Zinman. Mrs. Zinman is the equivalent of Nurse Ratchet. Okay, so in the halfway house, she is, yeah, she's the ball buster. All right, and Mikael Eklund plays Owen. He's kind of the person who's trying to. Well, it appears he's trying to help Marcy out, but things are not what they seem in this very strange rehabilitation house. Say, while I'm giving you the background here of the stars involved, let me tell you that I already told you Susie Maloney wrote this movie. The editor was Robert Reindow. He's done a pretty good job. He's put this together in a nice, concise package. And the director was Robert Cuffley. All told, they've put together a fairly decent thriller. But let me give you a little bit of a caveat on that, if you will. There are a lot of scenes in this movie that have a build up and then nothing happens. Okay. That's a little discombobulating. The first couple of times it happens, you think it might be a ploy for them building suspense. But after a while, that doesn't work because rather than building suspense, what they're really doing is pissing you off as a viewer because nothing is happening out of these scenes. And I think one of the reasons they've done this is because they've saved the real big aha, gotcha for the ending. And as a result, they didn't want to give it away with little gotchas in between. Okay, kids, Bright Hill Road comes to us from our friends up in the great white north, Alberta, Canada, to be precise. So Canada's been putting out some pretty decent stuff recently. I know when they first started sending me their independent films, they left a little to be desired. But I guess about a year ago, these things really picked up. So things are happening well up in the land of hockey. Yeah, things are going. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is Bright Hill Road has, as I said, a surprise ending. So if you're going to go and watch Bright Hill Road and you want that surprise ending to be a surprise for you, you want to end your review right here because I'm about to blow the ending for you, okay? I'm going to tell you what I really liked about this movie and why I was able to sit through all those build-up scenes that went absolutely nowhere because of the payoff at the end. Now, for those of you who are movie savvy, this is not going to be a big surprise for you. You're probably going to see this coming. I'd say about 3/4 of the way through. All right. But for those of you that, just kind of watch a movie and don't really start looking at little foreshadowing clues, this may come as a bit of a surprise to you. So if you've stuck with me this long, then you don't mind me talking about the ending and or you're probably not going to watch the movie. So here's what the deal is. What they do is they build this up that Marcy is in this halfway house to try to cure or rehabilitate her from her alcoholism and pill abuse. But actually, that's not what happens at all. The characters that she's meeting in this rehab house are really rather bizarre. Okay, and the reason is the big gotcha at the end is this is not a rehab house for alcoholics. It's a rehab house for souls. I thought that little twist made this movie worthwhile and worth watching. Now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.